What's going on, guys? Jay here. The number one problem that I'm seeing happening with smart money concept traders is not being able to confidently identify if we're seeing a liquidity sweep or raid versus a break of structure to be able to set up our trade and get the win. If you're new to this channel and you don't know what those blue and red lines are, please refer to a previous video. Essentially, they are the highs and lows of sessions that act as liquidity pools. And the strategy that we're using is waiting for one of these liquidity pools to get hit, and we consider that as a raid, and then we wait for a valid reversal. And we also need to identify that specific break of structure that would lead us to believe that a reversal or a pullback is forming, so that we have all the elements required to enter into a valid setup. This was actually my number one problem when I started trading as a beginner as well, and I was getting caught trying to take pullbacks in continuation moves because I wasn't identifying the right or the correct break of structure. So this is something I started doing, and I think that it may help some of you out there. You're looking at a 15-minute time frame right now, which is one time frame higher than when I normally trade on, which is the 5-minute time frame. This makes it a lot easier for your eye to catch where a possible break of structure could happen. If we take this live example, if you take your path tool and you start drawing the movement that you're seeing right now, it looks pretty simple, but it looks like this. I think everybody would agree on that. If you move to your lower time frame, this is what it looks like. Now, if you start highlighting some of the areas of interest, you will see that there's two fair value gaps that are here. Our strategy is to wait for these blue lines to be tapped into in order to start looking for a reversal. And a reversal is confirmed when you have a break of structure. So in this situation, where would that break of structure need to happen in order for us to have a valid setup? Well, you could argue this could be an area for a break of structure. This could be an area for a break of structure. Maybe this over here or this. Well, the blue line that we drew on a higher time frame helps our eye try to figure that out a little better for us. Also, by seeing the fair value gaps, it gives us the sentiment that we would need to see the market go through these in order to take a valid setup short, or else we could just be caught in a continuation move and see the market go higher. So in this situation, the valid break of structure for me is under those fair value gaps, and it would represent this candle here. So I would draw my line as the break of structure, and then once this blue line gets tapped into, I would have to wait until the market gives me a move all the way back down here to be able to consider a setup short. Let's see what that would look like. If the market does this, is this a short forming? No, because we still have a structure underneath that. If the market does this, is that a short forming? No, it could just be a continuation because it's hitting the fair value gap and it could move right back up. Is this a valid setup forming? No, not yet. Is this a valid setup forming? This looks like what I'm trying to achieve in order to get a short setup. Is this where we enter? The answer is no. Is this where we enter? The answer could be yes, could be no. We would enter over here only if we have a fair value gap that formed on the body of the displacement candle that went through the break of structure. So we need to see impulse through this break of structure and a retest in the fair value gap. And in a perfect world, you're pulling a fib from that candle and you're entering at least a 50% level from the high to the low and this is your perfect entry to catch the market, and you would have the setup form like this. This would be the candle high all the way to the next liquidity pool that would be over here, and you would have a risk to reward of 2. Now this setup may never unfold, but you have to be patient enough to consider all the elements that I've just highlighted, because if you go in too early, you might get caught at one of these fair value gaps and then the market continues. So there's a lot of things to consider, and that's why I tried to simplify seeing what the market's doing to identify where you would be comfortable taking a short in this situation. So you actually have to build your game plan before the session starts so that you know exactly what you're shopping for in terms of setup. The beauty of the system that I'm showing on this channel is that you don't have to look everywhere to find your liquidity sweep. You just have to wait for one of these blue lines to get hit and start seeing evidence of the market wanting to go back lower. And this is what I've showed you in this video, is that the evidence may be a bit further than what you're accustomed to, but if you wait and you're patient, you're going to get burned a lot less often than if you're waiting for one of these short-term swings. You want to look at the intermediate term swings to have confirmation that the market is in fact going lower or higher. If you follow this strategy of waiting for the blue line to get tapped into as the liquidity sweep, then you're waiting for a break of structure, which is pretty much step number 2 of the model. So it already takes some of the guesswork out because you know that you're considering one of these blue lines as the liquidity sweep. So I hope this video helped you guys. If it did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more videos like this every week. I'd like to close off the video by saying thank you to all of you. You are making this channel a success. I do read all the comments that come in, but obviously there's too many for me to be able to answer all of them. But I do consider all of your feedback from the comments for future videos, so please don't hesitate to write them. So thanks again and have a great day.